in it. Even if my guy's sitting in the bed, doesn't matter. But at least now I know I know that I have you engaged, and I'm forcing you to stay engaged and hold you to a standard. It's what I do with my graduate students. Now, about 3 weeks ago, I had a special guest in my class, and he was a former heavyweight champion of the world. His name is Michael Bent. And for those of you who are into sports and studying sports and life lessons, there's a great Netflix program called Losers. I want to encourage you guys to start watching it. He's the first episode, and I think it's maybe 3 seasons that's been on Netflix, but he was the first episode of the first season. His story is pretty amazing. So I started watching it because I had several people tell me, you should really check this series out. It's really, it's in your backyard. It's about what you do. And so I heard it, I watched it, I was blown away. I reached out to this gentleman, and we become friends because of that, because of my reaching out. He called me the next day at home. We talked for about an hour and a half. He came and he did my podcast, and then he also was nice enough to come in and sit on a Zoom call just like this with my graduate students. And I punished one of my graduate students. I kicked her off because my rule is if you're going to be part of my program, I need to see you. I need to make sure that for 45 minutes, you're dialed in, you're paying attention. It's the courtesy that we have to give to ourselves if we're really going to learn something, as opposed to I'm playing Xbox while I'm maybe listening in on what's going on, or I'm doing something else. And if you're really going to learn about visualization and how to do it, I need for you to not be doing anything else except really listening and getting and taking in what it is that I'm sharing with you. So I need Yvonne, I need Jaden. I think that's all we're missing. And whoever that 575-635-7102 is.
Yeah, I don't know if that phone number is able to do video.
Okay.
575 area code, anyways.
So again, part of the reason to do this is, guys, if we're really going to be students of the game, we really have to understand that it requires more of us. Because if you're talented, and I know all of you are, but if you're going to start competing to a place and to a point where you want to play college ball, or maybe someday you want to get paid to do this, everyone that you're competing against is going to be already pretty talented. What's going to separate you from everybody else is what you do here, is what you have happened in between the ears. That's the ultimate separator. Okay. So last time we talked, I was in Indiana. I was walking through my old stomping grounds where I tried to play the game at a higher level, had a lot of fond memories, had some disappointments. And it took me back to understanding what it was like when I was your age and what I wished I would have learned. And one of the most powerful tools that I'm going to share with you is this idea of visualization. Okay. Now, I want you to maybe take some notes, and I want you to think about this when we're done. I want you to reflect on what it is that we did and what we talked about. Because visualization is probably the most powerful tool that we have in our tool belt that we don't utilize. We don't maximize it. We know how to use it because we daydream. We have nightmares at night when we sleep. So it is a muscle inside our head that, if we learn to weaponize, can really help take you to a whole nother level of play, a whole nother level of confidence, learning how to reprogram how you feel about yourself when you get disappointed or when you don't have the outcome you want. Because there's this word called resilience. And resiliency is defined by how quickly you bounce back from a mistake, how quickly you bounce back and you recover from one bad at bat to the next at bat. And one way of doing it is, and actually I think the only way to do it is to make sure that how you think and the thoughts that you allow in your head, that they always serve you. Does that make sense? I need to get some head nods. Okay. So this idea of visualization, we all know, we're all very familiar with ESPN. You know, when we were watching and when the game was being played, we tune in, we want to see the highlights. We're going to kind of create a little mini highlight reel. We're going to teach you how to do that between the ears. So I need for all of you to be sitting up. You know, I don't need for you to sit up in a chair, but it'd be nice if you did. But if you're in bed, my guy over here is in bed, sit up so that your posture is straight and you're not too relaxed and comfortable. Because a lot of times when I do this with baseball teams, we'll go out in center field and I'll have everyone lay down on the grass and we'll start doing this. I eventually get 2 or 3 guys that start snoring about 10 minutes into it. And that's okay. But that's not what we want right now, because we're going to do a short version of this. So sit, hands down on your knees or your lap. Relax your shoulders. I want you to close your eyes. I want you to close your eyes, and all I want you to do is I want you to listen to me. Listen to my voice. There may be distractions in the house. There may be, you know, some music going on. Doesn't matter what's happening out there. What matters right now is that you listen to my voice and you allow your thoughts to kind of quiet, and you have an awareness of what's happening in your body. Maybe you can listen to your heartbeat. Maybe you can listen to your breath. And as you do this, I want you to practice breathing in through your nose and out of your mouth, nice and slow. Nothing rushed. And as you breathe in, I want you to relax your chest so that you get the air down into the lower chamber of your lungs, and eventually we'll get it into the diaphragm. But for right now, I just want to expose you to this idea of how to breathe correctly. Because there's a difference between breathing to survive, which is what we always do on a day-to-day basis, and breathing to thrive, which is what an athlete needs to learn how to do. And so we got to take baby steps. Continue to breathe and out. Good. Stay dialed in. You know, you're going to have thoughts that come in and out of your head. Don't let them park. Just let them drive through. And just pay attention to your breathing. Pay attention to the quality of your breathing. And listen to your body. Your body's typically tries to talk to us. You may have some soreness in your back. You may have some soreness in the shoulder. Acknowledge it. Rather than ignore it, acknowledge it. And try and take some of that air, some of that breath, and get it to that muscle. Good. Continue breathing in. And if you can, try and slow down your breathing. This is also very important, because as the game speeds up on us, our quality of breathing tends to suffer. And so we'll go back to this. And if you think about what a baseball player does when they're in the box and then they step out of the box in between pitches, they take a nice cleansing breath to slow the mechanics down, to slow their thoughts down, to give themselves a good quality at bat, to get rid of all the tension, the nervousness, the anxiety, so we can have the best chance to see the pitch and have a good swing. Notice the quality and the tone of my voice. I'm not speeding things up. I'm trying to keep everything at a calm, consistent basis. All I'm asking you to do is just try and sit still, which is a hard thing to do for baseball players. Good. So now that we've kind of gotten you in a place where you are in your body and you are present, I want you to let your mind drift. I want you to play with the idea of going back to a game or a practice where you felt like you could crush the ball. The ball all of a sudden just grew 10 sizes and it was the size of a beach ball. And anything that anybody threw at you, you were crushing. If you're a pitcher, I want you to feel that same kind of confidence and power being on the mound and knowing that you just had your best stuff that day. And you were just painting the corners of the plate. You could put the ball anywhere on anybody and they couldn't touch you. Let your mind continue to go there. Play. See if you can sense what it smelled like that day. See if you can recall the color of the uniform you were wearing. Continue to breathe. See if you can recall what the weather was like. Was it a little moist? Was it really hot and humid? Was there a nice cool breeze? Were there sounds in the stands? Was it a game when maybe it was just a scrimmage and there was nobody in the stands? Maybe it was a big deal. Maybe it was a championship. Maybe it was a big tournament. Maybe there was an obnoxious fan that just kept saying these things that for some reason you kept hearing, and your stuff was so good, you just kind of dismissed it and laughed at them. Notice we're trying to tap into as many senses as we can. Sound, smell, sight. Feel the grip on the bat. Feel the grip of the ball. Be in your feet. Be in your shoes. Continue to own who you are. Own your space. And breathe. Now take a moment and step off the mound, or take a moment and step out of the box and take a little scan of the environment. See the stands, see the left field foul pole. Take a look at your teammate in front of you. If you're a batter, might be the first base coach. If you're the pitcher, take a look at your catcher. Just kind of check in with each other. Now I want you to take your right fist. I want to take your right hand. I want you to make a small, gentle fist. I want you to close that fist. I want you to squeeze it. And what we're doing is we're locking in what we just saw, what we just experienced. I want you to squeeze that fist tight. So it becomes kind of a trigger mechanism. So that when you do this on your own without me there, all you need to do is let yourself go back and go back to this little dream, squeezing this fist, and it'll take you there sooner. Good. Continue to breathe. Nice. Give me a nice big breath. Inhale and exhale. Now I want you to slowly let go of the fist. Release the tension in the hand. Wiggle your fingers a little bit. Give me another breath. Inhale and exhale. And now I want you to open your eyes. Start coming back to me. Okay. Now I want you to turn on your mics. Unmute yourselves. All right. I'm going to start with Giovanni. Giovanni, what did you get from that?
Fuck, I didn't pay attention.
I got relaxed. Felt good. Go back when I was hitting dingers, playing. Well, when you said to look at my first baseman, I visualized it so good. Yeah, it was crazy.
Good. Caden, what'd you get out of that? Tell me
I
what you
felt
took
relaxed.
away.
I felt relaxed and when I was hitting, it was just calm and easier to see everything and realize what's happening.
So what I gave you is kind of a gift, but it's a gift that keeps giving if you practice this. There's no secret to a person being able to hit the ball and see the ball well. It's mental reps and it's practice. And so sometimes when we're tired or the weather's lousy, you can't get access to a cage. What we just did allows you to get mental reps. This is what I do with a lot of athletes, especially when they're injured and they can't do what they normally would do in their workouts. But this gives them a chance to still stay sharp and keep their timing going. Let's see. Cesar. Cesar's like, oh shit, he called me out. What'd you get? Tell me what you took away from this.
Made me feel relaxed.
Now, let me ask you a question. The second person said felt relaxed. When you're hitting the ball really well, or if you're a pitcher and you're really, you're painting corners, do you swing or throw harder, or do you, or is there kind of a quality of freedom in your body because you're relaxed?
Freedom.
There's a freedom. You know why? Because because not only are you confident, but you're trusting what you're doing. That is the formula for being a champion. You got to learn how to be able to tap into this and see what it feels like, so that then you can try and repeat that feeling or that understanding and then go about your business. So for some of you, this may be the first time you've ever done it. For others, maybe you've done it before, but maybe not quite like this. I want you just to play with this and experiment so that you can find what works for you. I think I mentioned last time I talked to you, Oregon State, they will sit in the dugout. I'm gonna stand up. They lock their arms like this. They'll sit down and they will close their eyes, or they'll have their eyes open and they'll kind of daydream. And they will see a couple innings happen. Either having the ball hit to them, making the play, watching their footwork. They will go about this process so that they give themselves an opportunity to get lost doing the game. And it's almost like it's a mental warm-up. You physically go through a warm-up, right? Before every practice and every game. This is a way of getting the mind working so that the two working together become one sharp, and it's dangerous. Again, I mentioned Altuve. I want you to YouTube some of his stuff, his visualization. I want you to watch what he does and how he does it. I don't need for you to do it exactly like him, but I want you to compare so you can, again, you can take this and make it yours. Let me get another kid.
Yes, sir.
What did that feel like, sir?
Man, it felt very, very relaxing. You can visualize, just about everything that you want to achieve, as you go. The mind is a really, 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 very intriguing because you sometimes you're thinking about too much stuff at one time. Now you're zoning into one stuff that you want to actually be successful at, right?
Yes.
I think that's what it is.
So I love that you said that. So guys, I need for you to really take a mental note of what Coach Ramirez just said. This isn't just about being successful at baseball. This is learning how to overcome, let's say, a fear of taking a test, an SAT test, or getting comfortable talking in front of a large audience, because most people are a little scared about that. It's the most common fear that we have next to spiders and snakes. It's public speaking. You start seeing yourself doing it and seeing yourself doing it well and laughing and relaxing, those nerves, that adrenaline, they start going away, and you start learning how to control what you're feeling so that you can then go do what you're there to do. I have a young lady who she became a new client. She wants to be an Olympian. So we got an 8-year plan. 2028, that's her goal. And she's 25. She's got good head on her shoulders, extremely talented. And very, 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 very driven. So now what we're doing is we're breaking up this 8-year plan into little mini goals. And what she's doing right now, she's working on building her confidence to the point where we're trying to get her to be cocky, where every time she steps into her field of play, she has such ownership of who she is and what she's there to do that she has no distractions. And she doesn't really care at all about who's next to her, who's competing against her, because they have no impact on what she does when she brings all of herself to what it is that she's doing. That's a dangerous athlete. So I'm going to plant this seed, and I'm going to have you work on this as homework. Ask yourself, on a scale from 1 to 100, 100 being you are always there with everything you got that God gave you, with every bit of your energy and talent. How often or how much of you do you bring to practice? Is it 50%? Is it 75%? Because I'm going to say that the majority of you are probably like 60 or 70. And in spite of that, you're really good. Now imagine if you can learn to turn that up 10 degrees to an 80, to a 90. You'll be having colleges pounding on your door. Heck, you'll probably have some pro scouts pounding on your door, asking for information. That is a choice. That happens by you doing these little things that I'm just sharing with you. Is Jaden Noriega, can you get on? We got 2 Jadens. But I got mute and I got no picture. Diego, Jaden, can you guys turn on? Cannon, you got something for me? Cannon? Unmute yourself.
The visualization, what I felt was like I know what to do next time when I pitch, I visualize pitching. I know what to do and what mechanics, and I can repeat it.
So I love that you said that. It's also a tool to help you improve your mechanics and what it is that you're doing. It gives you information, because sometimes you don't have always doing it. Then you can actually play in your head where your arm slot is, where the ball should be released. There's a lot of good things that can happen from you learning to sit still, be quiet, and watch yourself do what you're there to do and work on. It's I'm glad you brought that up. Thank you. Anybody else want to add anything? Mr. Wood? What'd your guy behind you, what did he get out of this? Did he fall asleep? Come closer to the mic.
I felt like I was really when I was
A little closer so I can hear you. Come on, man, don't be shy.
I felt calm. I felt like I was really at the field, and it really helped my mechanics and what I was doing that day.
So if I'm working with any college baseball team and they're getting ready for a conference series, they know the conference series, the atmosphere is a little different than a normal baseball game. Or let's say it's a major tournament, conference championship. It's an opportunity to go to Omaha. They know that there's going to be more of an adrenaline dump. They know that they're going to be more excited and nervous than they normally would. This is how we prepare to manage those moments. so that the practices become the same as a game day. But you got to practice. You got to let yourself play like you're really in a game. That's why how you practice you have to learn how to practice so hard that the games become easy. Don't save your best stuff for the game. Sorry, guys, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. You will never be great if you're saving it for someday or something. You got to sharpen your sword in practice so that the games become an extension of what you've been working on. Always go all out. That way you can see what it is you need to keep working on, because you'll never master the sport. You'll only keep getting better at it. The goal is to try and be a master at it. But even the greatest hitters will tell you, I don't think I ever had a perfect hit, a perfect swing. I came close, but they're always improving and working on making small changes, small details. That comes from visualizing, not micromanaging. Does that make sense? You guys understand the difference? Because there's a big difference. Okay. Coach Bloom, what do you think? Do you guys use this in your high school team?
I've actually been meditating with my players for about 4 years now. Doing it after we do stretch and agilities. Then we break into meditation and exactly the stuff that you just said, focus on our breathing. And we do that for a while. Then I go through like having them really recognize how relaxed their bodies are. And then I go through the visualization of, you know, the game or what they need to work on and whatever it is that day. And we focus more again on our breathing and being relaxed. And then we break it down and get into practice. And it's made a huge difference. At first the kids thought it was kind of funny and they were kind of giggly and laughing. And then the next thing they know, they're like, well, wait, I'm practicing a lot better. I'm playing a lot better because I'm able to handle that anxiety when the pressure comes on, because I'm practicing my breathing and I'm becoming present. And, you know, that's the thing that I've been teaching them. The other part is like with homework, you know, putting their phones away and focusing just on homework, being present in that moment and doing that task at hand, not whatever else, because we have so much screen time now and kids, they get distracted, you know, they're stuff, it's the best.
So this stuff, I wouldn't lie to you, this stuff works. Let me make sure. How are we? This stuff directly correlated to why that jersey signed and why that guy there, who is still my mentor, think of him every day, helped make that dream come true and break the streak. Championship teams are doing it. Professional teams have sports psychologists now. In fact, most of them have several of it. So guys, this is stuff that we teach in the pros. You want to learn how to get there? Do the things that other kids aren't willing to do. Do the things that other kids aren't willing to do, and it makes your journey easier. But I promise you, if you're lucky enough to get to the show, you will understand and you'll have a head up over those kids who just bypassed college ball. Because even at the college level, they're all hiring sports psychologists to come in and help. So your homework, I need for you to practice this every day until we talk next Monday again. And I want you guys, you were supposed to have 3 things that you're going to be working on. I want you to practice visualizing, seeing yourself work on one of those 3 things. Okay? Visualize before you play, visualize before you go to bed. So it's twice. So you should get in 14 reps before next Monday. out of those 14 opportunities, you should be able to hit all 3 of those a couple times. And we'll talk about that next week. That sound all right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes. Okay, and if you guys have any questions between now and then, you guys send your question to your coach, and then you have your coach send me the question. I'll make sure I get back to you. I'm not traveling this week, so it'll be nice I'll be home.
How
Deal?
long to dinner?
What's that? Don't be shy, man.
Mario, what do you want that question related to? That way they know, some of the kids know that didn't answer or whatever.
So I think the question we had before the 4th of July was, what are 3 things that you know you need to work on to get better at? Is it hitting? Is it fielding? Is it getting a good jump on a ball? I want, and for everybody, it could be a little different, but I want them to answer those things, because you got to know what your strengths are. But you also need to know what you need to work on. And what's the thing that we normally focus more on? We focus on our strengths. We ignore the weakness because we don't want to be seen. We don't want to be found out. Well, I want us to focus on a strength, but I also want us to address the thing that we need to spend time on. Okay, so identify 3 things and then start seeing it. And then we'll start putting together a little game plan on how to address it. Bueno?
Bueno.
All right. I'm going to go get my family breakfast or dinner. Good seeing everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mario.
Stay safe. Keep working at this, okay? You guys got talent, and you got great coaches. You got people who care. Take advantage of it.
And this is going to be scheduled for next Monday again, Mario, right? So players, get your teammates on here. There's no reason why you can't you don't have your buddies on here too. We see the same few guys week in, week out on the workshops. It's kind of on you now a little bit too, to kind of rally up some of your teammates, because our coaches do it. I know that, and so, but if you want to be good, you got to get your guys around you to be good too. That's what it takes. I don't know if you guys watch. I was watching the Michael Jordan, The Last Dance thing. That's pretty cool how he, when he bought into, making his teammates better, that's when they went out to win those championships. So it's kind of a cool little documentary if you guys can sit through 6 hours of 6 different episodes or so. But that's pretty much it, right, Mario? You got anything else?
Workshop with Michael's trainer.
What's that?
Yeah. So I did a workshop with Michael Jordan's trainer, Tim Grover. Mm-hmm. And we have commonality. There is a young lady who I did a podcast recently who is she's the world speed record holder for skydiving. And one of the things that made this trainer and Michael Jordan kind of connect was their passion for wanting to be great and having a no bullshit attitude. There's no excuses in that world. And there was a time when Michael said, listen, I'm paying you not just to work with me, I'm paying you not to work with anybody else. Because I want the secret sauce, and I don't want to share the secret sauce with anybody. That's how hungry he was. So I love the fact that the guys who are on this call are on this call. You're taking advantage of what we're offering you. So I hope you take advantage of it and you practice it so that there is a separation, and maybe there is a jealousy by the guys who are your teammates but did not care enough to show up. Now, I want you to tell them, you guys are missing out. I want you to tell them that. If they don't show up, then I'm going to tell you like I tell my pro athletes, I don't give a shit. You know who I care about? The people who are showing up. Because I'm a no excuses person. You do the work, you show up, I'm going to help you. You tell me you want this and you pay the price, I'm going to help you. That's how life is. Now, you say one thing, but you do something else, I don't have time for you. It's that simple. Life is that simple. And when you start committing to that, people will come out of the woodwork to go out of their way to help you. So whatever you get, you deserve it. You've earned it. Just like whatever they get what they deserve. You feel me?
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
Then we need to get some parents as well over here, next Monday as well.
Bring them in. They need to hear it.
That'll be really good.
They need to hear it. Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and schedule it now when we get off, and then you guys all get registered on it for next week now, and then we can work on trying to get our teammates and parents on there from there. Okay.
See you guys. Have a good night.
Everybody, we'll see you guys.
Thanks, Mario.
Thank you, Mario.
Thank you, Mario.